we're in. I'm gonna add everyone in the Discord shamelessly. Ready. Okay. Also, we've got like 200 plus people in the Discord now. Kind of crazy.
Congratulations, King.
Thank you, King. I think it's what is happening? What is the beeping?
What do you mean?
What was that? Was that on your end? There was literally
I
just
didn't
like
hear
a
any
computer beeping. I have no idea what
I
that
didn't
was.
hear it.
I think the stream caught it, so whatever. Anyways, all right. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome to the VOD, however you're watching. And today we got the boy who, you know what? I should actually like link your thing in the description because that'd be cool to do for people. Link your SoundCloud or whatever.
Yeah, I'll
just send me your link tree actually. Why not?
To you.
Just the whole dang link tree.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. And popping out the chat and closing this. Not yet, actually.
Do I just need to watch it on YouTube to see the stream?
Yeah. Well, I could share the screen, except I don't think my CPU would handle that.
That's chill. I'll just mute the YouTube.
Dealing with delay, pretty much, is unfortunate. But before we get into anything, I want to know like what your goals on the track and stuff are.
Okay, so God, I don't know. I wrote this in like, I don't know, probably like 4 hours, and then I got COVID the next day. It's yeah,
cursed.
dude,
I can't play it.
Yeah, it's a fucking cursed track. So I kind of did it in the style of like it's like kind of two-steppy, kind of dubsteppy. I was really inspired by this like Calibre track or Caliber. I don't really know how to pronounce it. So I use it as a reference. And his was much more like sexy. Like I was going for a sexy, like just like deep vibe, and mine just like came out as like sexy minimal dubstep. I don't know if it's boring. Like I really like the track and I want it to be like the opener on my album, but right. I don't know. I feel like the subtone in it, like it really isn't hitting like as hard as I would like it to. Like I really want it to be prominent and like carrying the beat.
Do you mean like like the layers of it or the sub itself? Like
I don't. Yeah, I mean just like
or both.
The bass. Yeah, just like the bass in general. Like I guess I can kind of hear the top in the second like the second drop in quotes. You know, I can hear it in that. But the low just like really doesn't hit, and I kind of want like a little bit of that taint bass, you know, like I want it to like tickle you.
Yeah.
and it just doesn't have that. And I normally don't struggle this hard with the low end, but like for some reason it just doesn't work on the track. And also just like little like variations or just like whatever any sexy tips you might have to like help like just kind of spice it up a little bit, right. You know?
So basically you're going for full sex appeal on this track, and you've come to the right person.
Absolutely. The man does sex appeal.
No, I do that. Okay, so I have the audio set up now, and I'm gonna just play the track and take mental notes, and we'll get this thing sexy, get it arousing. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
I feel like you're gonna have a bit thicker atmosphere here.
For sure.
Sub's coming in though. And maybe like just a bit more elements introducing around the second loop of it. There's a bit, okay. But I think it could be more. I feel weird about giving feedback as it's going, but it's what I do.
It's all good, man. needs a little spice.
Yeah. I can kind of hear what you're saying about the sub.
You know, like it's missing it.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing before I drop the sub sauce, I feel like you can have even more atmosphere, just like, you know, just all around thicker atmosphere, like more literal just atmospheric samples, more dubby delayed sounds, you know, which I think you already have a bit of. Or do you?
Yeah, but just more. Yeah, there's some, you know, there's little like rim shots that are delayed.
Yeah.
Oh, my dog is attacking me.
Also, I think it might not hurt to have like a quick little break before it repeats for the second kind of 16 bars. Not like a full breakdown, but just like something to like, you know, something else, switch up, add some expectation.
Yeah, for sure. And then you bring in the shakers.
Yeah.
This is a long ass song. It does need some shit to break it up.
Yeah. Also, I think, I mean, this can kind of change the direction of your track, but maybe like add some more variation to your bass layers, you know what I mean? Because, well, that can make it more freeformy, less deep dubby.
Yeah.
But it might be worth a try, you know, just like going in and just like changing the processing on like this layer even. Or like adding a reduxy bass layer.
That's cool. Yeah, like maybe mix with like the tops of it, like add a top layer. That could be cool.
Yeah, I definitely think like you can add, well, yeah, like you said, add a top layer. But beyond like a top layer, I think you just have like more bass layers going on. You know, if you're into that, you know, if you're open to that, because it's all very subjective.
Dude, I'm open to anything, honestly. I just need I need a little spice. You feel me?
Spice, whatever. You're not picky about the spices, just throw whatever in there. Okay.
As long as it's sexy.
Oh, yeah. Go. Okay. Hello? Did you cut out, or did I interrupt you? I think you cut out.
I don't. Oh, yeah, I might have just cut out. I'm not really sure.
So one thing for the sub, so I'll just stop it right there and then resume it in a bit. So let's pull up the spectrum, right? So are you familiar with like where the level should be hitting? You know, in terms of like
roughly.
Mastering.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to say because it looks about like where it should be hitting, like the sub. Let me look that up. I feel like you can have the sub a bit louder, just a bit, but the real issue with it, I think, is like, this is also subjective. Everything's subjective, right? But if you notice in a lot of deep dub stuff, like they aren't wobbling the sub. You know, the layers are wobbling, but they just have the sub just like hammering. Static, you know, just a static note, you know, it can bend around a bit, or they have like some variation here and there, but a lot of the times it's just straight up like just a root note, you know, because like the wobbles hit, except it's not as heavy sub nonstop, you know what I mean? And I feel like just having that sub just hitting nonstop could just give the impression of it being a lot deeper, you know?
Yeah.
So,
fatter.
Yeah, fatter. And then that leaves room for you to like mess more with the top layers, you know, because it's a trade-off when you like automate the volume on it. Because wobbles are cool, but I think maybe you should use it a bit more sparingly. So Oh, also that this is
That
kind
sounds
of
tasteful, honestly.
this is kind of a weird way to get the sub like this. This is weird. Well, okay, what was your mindset in like choosing to filter the sub instead of like just automating the volume in it? You know what I mean? If you're seeing this, you know, you have the distortion with the sinoid fold and like filtering it, because well, that I can't really tell in my headphones, but maybe what that's doing is it's actually keeping that consistent like sub layer, except like introducing the higher harmonics. You know, it can be kind of weird though, because messing with the filter doesn't give you as much precise control over like the volumes if that's what you're going for. But anyways,
Yeah, I feel like I was
let's.
just.
Oh, sorry. Say your words. I think you cut out again.
Yeah, sorry. You were chopping. You were choppy too, so I wasn't sure if you were still talking. So I think I honestly can't remember what I was going for. I feel like I was just trying to match the sub with what was going on in like the mid, I guess we can call it.
Yeah.
But I don't. I feel like I've been told by other people that you're supposed to kind of like automate your subs similarly to how your like mid is. Would you disagree with that?
Well, it really depends on what you're going for. You know, a lot of the times the sub is following the mids, but especially in the deeper dub stuff, that's not the case necessarily, you know, and it can be really interesting. Well, you don't hear it a lot, but when you do, it really stands out. You know, you can have the sub going on a completely different like rate than your mids, you know. But for example, well, this I just had the sub hitting like without any automation. But the main thing, not the main thing, but one thing is if you're trying to make the sub match the mids, the way to do it would not be to filter it, because that doesn't give you nearly as much control over the volume of it, you know. And I would just straight up automate the volume if that's what you're going for.
Okay.
Except for
I feel like I did that
for reason the rate is like different now. I don't know what happened. But anyways. Yeah, and that I think that makes it hit heavier. But in addition to that, I just turned up the decibels on the sub.
See, I feel like in my latest release, I did volume automation for the mid and the sub, I want to say. Right. And I feel like, or maybe I did volume automation just for the mid, and I was just like trying to use that by itself, and I just ended up like tucking 808s under like every single wobble, like kind of turning sound style, just to beef it up a bit and use that for the lows.
Right.
But yeah, I just felt like when I did a wobble using it as volume automation for the sub, I guess it didn't seem like it was hitting as hard as I wanted it to. Yeah. So that's why I went with the distortion one.
Right. That's an interesting take. It's just harder to get it exactly right, you know. But yeah, like I said, it is definitely like a trade-off, you know. And like I said, in a lot of deep dub, it's just straight up just a static sub note, you know. Or if you want, you can go in and like not automate it the whole way, you know. This isn't super common, but it works. See, I think that honestly might be the move, because just listen how fat that thing fat.
Yeah.
That thing thick. And another thing, so to get your sub to hit harder, you can do distortion, but ultimately, so I'm gonna go in depth here, right? Okay, so your spectrum, right? Here, I keep going on asides, but one aside is it's kind of weird to filter it like this, because I mean this could be like a type of like Fletcher Munson type thing, in that it's like the sub kind of gets perceived as different volumes depending on what note it's at, you know. But I don't think this is doing it. In fact, it can be decreasing the volume of notes down here and making the notes louder up here, which is kind of the opposite of what you want to do if you are going to EQ it in that way. So pretty much, I wouldn't recommend like even EQing your sub like that at all. If you're going to EQ it, just cut off everything like up here, you know?
Yeah. So I just like kind of like blindly picked up that little EQ cut for subs from this like Ilgates rack that I use a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just like a resampled Moog sub fatty, and that's how it's EQ'd. So I don't really know why,
weird.
but I'll take your word for it, man.
But well, I'm no expert, but that's just what I've learned and in my experience.
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
what does the rack he has do? What does it do?
It's just like it just gives you just like fat 808 analog samples. I mean, not fat 808, just like fat, sine waves that are analog. It's just, a little way to add warmth to your track without actually having to plug in your synth.
Okay. Well, because I mean, to elaborate on what I said, like the subs at time can be like, depending on what note they're hitting at, even though they're all the same volume, just because of like how the world works. This is the world God gave us. Like some notes just are perceived as louder than others, which EQing can fix, but I'm not familiar enough to EQ it. And I believe most producers and typically people don't do that because it can lead to the sub being quieter on notes and louder on others, which isn't necessarily a good thing. But anyways, back to business. And it also and it also might be tuned for like a different root note. You know what I mean? In that, sure, like maybe they were expecting you to be playing a note like in the middle of the spectrum, right? This is a long aside, but I don't care. This is content anyway. Like maybe it's expecting to be here, right in the middle, where like it would make more sense to like round off any like lower lows for whatever reason that are showing up and the highs. But so this note, this note is really low for a sub, right? While typically it's in like the F range, where F would be like exactly where this curve is hitting, right?
My dumb ass loves a low C as a sub.
No. I mean, like,
no. There's nothing to argue there.
No. Like you can pull it off, but here's where the drip comes in. The secret drip. This is how you make your subs fatter and get away with lower subs in general, right? Pay attention.
Lay it on me, pop.
All right, so you can do saturation or like distortion, which is quite common and popular for people to do. But you see what it's doing in this EQ. It's introducing new harmonics, right? Well, turn off. Introducing new harmonics, right? That's all a saturator does. Ooh, that tone is. I love that. Also, life hack, like for crazy sounds, like I know I show you a lot of stuff with the saturator, but like add some EQ nonsense in there, like holy moly, like it's lit.
I was working on a track last night, and I just like was automating the saturator drive throughout like this entire bass patch. It sounded fucking sick.
Yeah, you can automate everything, go crazy with it. Yeah, actually, here's another aside. So like what the drive is actually doing. So, I mean, you might already know this, but anyways, what it's doing, it's pretty much just like boosting the volume going into the saturator. So if I were to like put on a glue compressor, right? And so this is just like on 19 decibels, right? Then I go in a glue compressor and like it's the same tone. That's just an interesting thing to note. But anyways, for the fifth time. So saturator introduces new harmonics, right? So people are like, oh, throw the saturator on your sub, make it fat. I say, okay, that's cool, but you can get way more control over your subtone if you go in and do a little bit of additive synthesis, right? So you got your basic sine wave here, like any additive synth, you can do this. Let's edit it in Vital. And you can just draw on those harmonics yourself that the saturator will be introducing, or like sausage fattener for that matter. Right? So what I like to use, just so the first harmonic is just like the root note. But the second, it's kind of like an octave. Like, and the third one, it's like a fifth. I mean, that's in the music theory terms. But see, let's just like, let's compare. It's better to reference it on an actual sub, but it can get it, for one, like just introducing higher tones into your sub, not much higher, it's still sub frequencies like that.
Yeah.
It can make it more perceptible in like bad speakers, you know. That's why like in like they always say to oversaturate your, or like people just have hella oversaturated 808s, so they slap on like in like Honda Civics or whatever, you know.
Yeah, or like on an iPhone.
Yeah, on an iPhone, right? But also just introducing.
Oh, everybody listens.
They just click on your track for like 30 seconds and they're like, "Oh, bro, that's fire," you know. It's too real. But anyway. But yeah, just draw on those second and third harmonics and make the sub way fatter, both in headphones or whatever, and like on your sub itself. So like if I were like using my sub right now instead of headphones, that boy would be slapping. And it's especially important for low sub notes because yeah, it's pretty hard to hear the stuff a lot of times. But yeah, now it's fat, it's obese, it's all that. And didn't mean to rhyme it, but anyways.
Wait, so when you're messing with the harmonics, isn't that just like going to help with like the perceived loudness of your sub?
Yeah, pretty much is what it does ultimately. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that, but really you can just draw it in yourself and find what tone like slaps the hardest, you know. And a lot of the times, well, like in designing 808s, I mess around with this a lot too, but you'd be surprised how much like variation you can get in your subs or like 808s just very slightly messing with this harmonic, you know. And it makes your sub sound, you know, unique. But usually what I go for is just like whatever tone just freaking like blows out my speaker the most. But yeah, test it on subs, but this is definitely what you want to do, especially for this super deep stuff. Listen to that thing obese now. Thing needs to be on a diet.
Thing needs Jenny Craig.
Yeah. Gonna be on like my 600-pound life or whatever. Anyways. But yeah, that is way fatter, and I think like the halfway volume automation really slaps with it too. So that call me the sub doctor. Okay.
Goodbye.
I gotta stop. I just gotta stop. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, I really think that makes it hit way harder. Like damn, I'm quite pleased with how much that improved it. Anyways, I hope you agree.
Dude, I can't hear it.
Okay. You can't hear it. Are you like on the stream or no? You're just talking to me.
I'm just talking to you. Like I have the stream. I have the stream pulled up, but like okay. I'm just like talking to you, so it's not hella delayed.
Okay, you might want to turn the stream on to hear this because it's going crazy.
All right, go for it.
Takes a minute.
Oh, she hitting.
Oh, she big. Okay. So the next thing. So this kick, right? This kick, I think it could slap harder. for one, you're cutting out.
For sure.
You're cutting out the lows again.
I know. I kind of hated this kick, and I just like messed with it until it was like really dampened.
Yeah, I respect cutting out the highs. Yeah. Anyway, but the lows are the lows. No, but really, I think you should just pick a better kick sample, right? So,
for sure, right?
So excuse me while I use my sample pen. No, but honestly, I like the kicks in there. They really knock the sub, which is very important for such a sellout. Really knock the sub, which is important for bass music stuff. Oh wait, this isn't the right menu. So we're just gonna go in here on the freaking, where is it? Fuck. Where is the thing? So like a manage sample file, right? You click on that manage sample file, and then you know what? I'm gonna get out my lovely kick. It's not the right pack. Actually, for whatever reason, like I think this is a good kick for this style. Not too noisy, just like a doof.
A doof.
Okay, why does it sound like shit here though? Did it replace right? It did. No, it's just a bad kick. Never mind. Or you're oh, cause you're bro. All right. Look at this dude. So for one, you have like a high pass on your kick snare group.
Well, you know, sue me. I got COVID the next day. I clearly wasn't thinking clearly. Okay.
No, I don't mean to roast you, but yeah.
No, it's fine. Roast me, Poppy. I don't care.
All right.
It's okay. I'm cool. Make an example out of me, you know.
But yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, just don't do that. Like, there's nothing to say. No more jokes to make. Just don't do that.
I take like the smallest little grain of salt when I'm talking to someone, and just like run with it fully. Like someone will be like, "Yeah, cut everything at 80 or 120." Just so it doesn't like interfere with the sub, and that way your sub will hit super hard because it's the only thing in like that in the range of like 30 to 80, you know.
No, yeah.
Well, so like, don't do that.
Well, that can apply sometimes. I mean, not really. I mean, let's say you're like doing like trap music or like a trap beat, right? And it's like your 808 is knocking, but you just want like a kick top layer. In that case, yeah, go for this, you know, like go for this kind of thing. And the kick's just like you get the mids and the highs, and your 808 still slaps, you know. But for bass music like this, you want the kick knocking, right? And
I do.
It depends really, because this is just my preference. You can just use it as a top layer kick and have your sub slapping, right? But most of the time, I would just go in with a super deep side chain and do it that way. So yeah, no more EQ. And the snares, I think the snare is a little dirty. And by that, I mean, yeah, look at this. Look at Serta, get it together.
Dude,
what is this?
I don't mean.
Why does the snare have a sub?
I don't mean to badmouth someone who's just like has so much more experience than me, but it's like one of my least favorite sample packs I've ever purchased.
No, like the thing is, like, you can be good at making like your music, right? But not a good sound designer, you know, or like sound designer at least for like this kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the thing is, like, it's just lazy, right? To like sure, you can be processing your thing in whatever weird way, which I think what he did, I have no idea what he did actually, but maybe he was like using some kind of like analog noise thing. Like I know Echo has a noise generator, which for whatever reason like introduced a lot of low frequencies, but to not cut that out afterwards is a bit lazy. Or he literally cut it out of one of his songs. but he didn't
Yeah,
even
I mean
EQ it.
everything in the pack seems like very unique, and it's kind of hard to find like a place for it. Like a lot of the samples in it, I'm like,
Yeah.
I realistically I don't know where this is gonna fit.
It's kind of unique though, having like kind of a Jersey club beat, with the deep
Yeah.
dubbiness. But what you do need though, you need this sidechain to be way deeper for bass music.
Okay.
Because, well, like I said, like if you're doing this thing, like that's all right, but I think we want the sub on the kick. So
For sure.
the
Also, don't
way
yell
to
at me for not using
okay.
the click track, because I know I should, but I don't until like I'm like really done like messing with it. That way I don't have to like keep changing it when I change the beat.
Okay. Well, like I don't blame you for using a click track, because like you don't need one. It's just one method. In fact, I don't use a click track. I'll show you how I do mine. Right. But another thing is that I'm noticing you have a low pass on all your sidechain. Was that intentional?
Yeah, there's an auto filter section like where it gets
No,
like
no,
really
but I
soft.
mean, it's not at the highest frequency though. So you're cutting out your high highs.
Are those just going to kind of pierce? Or am I sleeping on that
I
top?
mean, it doesn't make a massive difference.
Hmm.
No, I think it does, because like listen, well, I mean, but you can noticeably hear a difference. It's cutting out a bunch of your erosion noise. But
Yeah,
the thing is,
we need that.
if you're wanting to like people do that sometimes, in that like the mastering, like you see it on some tracks, they'll literally just like cut out the high highs, like so, right? Because a lot of times you can't hear them. But the thing is, you're cutting them off a little low either way. So look, you're
Sure.
around like 12, while typically people would cut it off out around like 16, like 16,
Yeah.
17 or so. It's a little low to be cutting it off. And also, you really don't need to. Plenty of tracks don't do it, The thing is, as long as there's no like sibilances, or like, I say sibilances all the time. Similar thing, but like resonances,
Yep.
Oh yeah. Also, Favio saying a multiband compressor would be nice for that. Yeah, because it automatically like duck any frequencies that get in like ridiculously high range. But if you do want to cut out Spark Notes version, if you do want to cut out your high highs, I would do it like on the master track, and be a little more precise with it, because
Okay.
you can
Word.
definitely
Yep.
hear that it's cutting out some of your erosion layer. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
So
that was intentional or not. Sometimes you just like move a parameter and forget to move it back,
yeah,
because it does seem
yeah,
hella
that
low.
happens. Okay, so back to the sidechain before I got distracted. So the point of using a click track is because like you can kind of get more control when you're using like sidechain, like the compression way, versus like an audio waveform. But you can get away with it. You can get away with it. But the way I do it, I'll show you how. So first, you probably want it deeper, right? Except I can't quite get it like deep enough. Or I guess that's deep enough, except now it's the sidechain is too long, so it's just like cutting out everything. Right. It's actually hard to say, but I'll try it with my method. So my method is pretty much, so you need a MIDI track for this. All right. And the MIDI track, so I'm pretty much going to take all your kicks and make them MIDI. Say goodbye.
Yeah. And like set it as a send.
Yes, set it as a send, like through like external instrument, which is and okay, how do I make this? I can like
You
convert
might
to
need
Oh no, what I can do, I can consolidate the whole jaunt for 20 minutes. So I'm consolidating it so I get MIDI triggers, and then I'm going to send those MIDI signals to LFO tool so I can shape it precisely. Also, the sidechain might be tricky on this track just because a lot of the times this deep stuff doesn't have kicks as incessant. That feels like a negative adjective. They aren't bad. Like, it's not a bad pattern. I dig it, but you know what I mean. Like, usually
No, I
there's
know what
kicks
you mean.
more
It's not
sparingly.
conventional.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty constant.
Which like leaves a lot of room for your sub to like wobble and do its thing. But when you have the sidechain going and a ton of kicks going as well, then it can be kind of unclear what the sub is doing, and it just becomes like a mess of kicks hitting and like the sub coming in every few seconds to say one word and getting interrupted.
Yeah, I think that's why I had it so light. Yeah, for sure. I couldn't like sidechain it too hard, otherwise it was really messing with the sub.
Yeah. But I don't know. So like the way you had it set up before might actually not be bad, you know, just to have a top kick kind of thing going. But might as well try the alternative. Okay, so this thing finally consolidated. There's probably a better way to do that, but I was about to say like YOLO or something, but I don't think that's the right word. That's not what I'm going
for. I already YOLO'd this project, so it's time to YOLO it.
YOLO it back. Okay, so got our external instrument. I don't want to wipe out all the snares. Okay, drums, sure. Converting, another 20 minutes. I'm actually going to be right back while this converts. I'll be like 2 seconds, I swear.
I don't believe you. It's my stream now.
All right. And it's only halfway done. tell us the story. All right. You tell us a story. It's your turn.
Okay, cool. All right. So one time I went to a party in high school, and there was an actual riot at the party. Yeah, a rival school showed up it was a multiple night party. This was in the Project X era. Everybody thought it was cool to try to throw a Project X party.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they had a 3-night rager, and the first night someone was talking shit, got their ass beat, and they had 100 people roll up with them the next night, and they were like, yeah, it was pretty intense, and I was like, well, this is my cue to leave. Yeah, I'm out of here. And as I'm leaving, like all hell breaks loose, and I'm like cornered by. I'm just like trying to walk to my car, and I get cornered by like 3 dudes. I got hit with a baseball bat, like an aluminum baseball bat. And it wasn't nice, but I honestly, I kind of assumed that getting hit in the back with a bat would hurt way worse.
Really?
And it was pretty chill, yeah. And I just hopped in my car and drove a mile home, and then lied to my mom about the bruise on my face from getting punched, and told her I hit my chin on a pool.
Nice.
So yeah, now you know my deepest, darkest secrets.
All right, everyone use this against them.
Yeah.
that was a crazy story though. Surprisingly solid. I wasn't expecting such a solid story to come out of nowhere on a production live stream, but here we are. Okay, so back to business. The track is frozen.
Beautiful.
And I converted to drum. It's kind of interesting because it actually took the drum pattern out, right? but it took like the top layer. Since my drums have like a top layer, it picked a note for that too. But anyways, I'm just cutting out all the top notes because I only need one note, and I'm hoping that this MIDI track is solid, right? So now I'm gonna go in. You can use like Shaper Box or LFO Tool. There's plenty of plugins that like volume shape.
I have Shaper Box. You can use that one.
Yeah. Well, I don't have Shaper Box, so
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying you could use it, but I have LFO Tool, so I use that, and you just get that boy well shapen, you know. And to route it, so note retrig, you click that twice and put it on envelope mode. If you click it once, then it'll just like re-trigger without the note hitting, but whatever, I don't know how to explain that. But on envelope mode, it just, the kick hits, the side chain hits, and it's done. It's not going to re-trigger until the next kick. Anyways, so external instrument, and you could just MIDI to side chain, whatever channel you have your LFO tool in, and now we got side chain going on. So let's play it. Oh. Yeah, that sounds much more reasonable. And another option, so sidechain, well, as we're learning today, there's a few different ways to do it to like get your kick and sub relationship right, you know. But if you really want, you can only sidechain your kick to your lows.
Okay.
You know, by that I would just be like throwing it on your sub. I might as well try that, because why not? When in Rome, or whatever they say. Okay. Now I'm just gonna go back up to the external instrument. Also, I forget how to disable this track thing up top, but I don't use it. I don't think many people use it, but I disable it.
I think you can just hold, like drag it up a little bit like you would any other channel.
Oh yeah. There's a way to completely disable it though, somehow. So now it's just sidechaining the sub bass, which sounds pretty nice, honestly. Maybe that's what you want to go through for your final thing. But the next thing, which I actually don't go over because I just got put on it, is basically kick sub phase alignment, which makes your kicks and sub hit harder overall. So pretty much, like, I'm gonna demonstrate. There's a few tools to do this, but LFO tool, man, that's funny. Like, it's a LFO tool. It's a tool. That wasn't an intentional joke. But anyways,
okay,
if you see, okay, what was that?
Fine. I was gonna say, you just already sound like a dad. You're gonna be a dad before you know it.
Yeah, I catch myself making some dad jokes sometimes, a little too much, honestly. It scares me.
Okay, it's good for the soul.
Makes me wonder if I got someone pregnant and they don't know yet, you know. Anyways, so I put this LFO tool. Yeah. We don't need more Scorpios. Sorry. So I put LFO tool on the master, right? So there's a few plugins to do this. So basically this is letting us see like the waveforms of our song, like in real time, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna solo my sub, or our sub. It's ours. Right, so solo the sub and solo the kick, right? And then go to the master. So if you see, I'm actually gonna like turn the BPM down just to like really inspect this. So actually turn a little faster, that way it's like more representative. So pretty much what I'm trying to demonstrate, I'm actually going to loop it smaller so I can really see what's going on. Okay. So you see, like, you have your kick hitting and then you have your sub hitting, right? So here you can see the kick waveform and then you see the sub waveform there. for one, you want them a bit closer, just like in amplitude, so you'd want like, well, basically like on the spectrum, you want your kick hitting around the same decibel as your sub. Anyways, phase alignment, right? So if you see there's a break between the kick and the sub, right? And in that, like, it doesn't look like a smooth wave just like continuing. If you see right here where the side chain like comes off and the sub begins, there's a little like dip that's changing every time. And the reason it's changing every time is because the sub is on randomized phase. So I don't know, this is kind of hard to explain, but basically, so phase determines where your waveform starts. So your waveform starts like at a certain position. It's either starts at like the middle or like the peak or the trough of it, like, because it's a wave. There's different points for it to choose to start. But when in your synth, it's the phase randomization is on 100, that means every time it plays, it's going to pick a random phase, which can, if you're having like a lot of FM stuff going on, it can be a very noticeable sound, because it just makes a different sound, but if it's just a sub, it's very hard to hear, which is why it's better to look at it. So turn the phase randomization down, and what you will see is, well, it hits the same point every time. If we go over to our master, let me actually sidechain our thing again. So you see, it looks the exact same every time, while before it was changing. But if you're seeing here that it's not a smooth transition between this kick waveform and the sub waveform, they're just like, you see these two waveforms like kind of clashing here and almost canceling out, which can mess with like the perceived loudness of it. Not even the perceived, the actual loudness. So what I'm going to do, I'm not an expert, this is no scientific method, but you pretty much just mess with the phase position until you get a smooth transition between your kick and sub. See, and that's it, I got lucky. See, now you see, instead of it having like a very low amplitude section where both the kick and the sub are intersecting, it looks like almost a smooth wave, almost like a single wave. And I'm not exactly sure of the implications of that, but that it just keeps the loudness, it keeps it as loud as possible, and it makes sure you're kicking sub. It also can cause clicks, I think, because if they're really intersecting, you'll see just like a little blip, which would sound like a click. But anyways, that's kick sub phase alignment. LFO tool is one way to view that, but there's other ways. I forget what it's like, probably an oscilloscope or something. But yeah, now they're all aligned and it's sick and it will slap harder. It's very hard to notice, but it's important. A lot of big producers do it. Some people don't do it, but it shows when you do. Oh, and now it's 120 BPM. Got that slow sauce, but back to 140. I just lowered the BPM just so it's a little bit easier to see. Yeah, and I think that's a pretty solid sidechain. I just estimated. Yeah. So this has been like 48 minutes of sub-doctoring. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, and another thing is, so this, just because I'm hearing this, I despise this. No, I just, that's a strong word. I'm sorry, I am. But I don't like how this is just in my left ear, That's just a personal taste
thing. Is it
thing.
Foley?
No, it's the hi-hats. You can make your hats a bit stereo, like let's throw on like wider, or not even wider, because you can just, I would have two hats and pan one like 10 left, pan one like 10 right, and now it's stereo.
Oh, you know what my dumbass did there? I did the panning once I added the shaker, so I put the hat a little bit on the left, I think, and then put the shaker a little bit on the right.
Right, okay. I respect that.
But you despise it.
Yes. No. But like I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of like stereo panning because it makes me feel like one of my ears is like clogged up or something. No. But that's just my preference. Do what
It's
you
all good,
want.
dude.
Just be mindful with it, you know. Also,
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
because this is atmospheric, dubby atmosphericness. You know what? When in Rome, I think this is what they say. When in Rome, throw reverb on your hi-hats.
That I've heard that. I think no, they say that.
It's optional.
I don't know if it's optional. It's just when you're in Rome.
No. You gotta do it. Also, I don't know. This is just my preference. I don't know if I dig the pattern. I think I might like it just like... Ooh. Ooh, see that I accidentally... So what I did, I changed the... Like, what is it? 2, 3, 4... That's like a quarter note. Yeah, I changed the eighth note hi-hats to quarter note, right? But I only changed it on one channel, so now it's like this cool bouncing effect. Maybe that's a cool thing you want to keep. I did it accidentally, but hey.
I'm kind of into it.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't feel like duplicating through the whole track, but that's a little idea. A little idea that I accidentally ran into, amazingly. Okay. So one thing I said was like get the atmosphere a little thicker.
Yeah.
So you already have a few like atmospheric samples going. So what I'll maybe do, it's all very high end focus. So maybe get something with like a little more mid range to fill it up. Just like, I don't know, maybe just throw in like another atmosphere. Maybe throw in mine, just because I already know what it is. I know what to expect. See, that sounds nice. Sounds reasonable. And I'm gonna like crossfade it together when it loops, so it sounds good, or whatever they be saying. Okay, I'm gonna cut out the lows from it because there's probably a bit of lows. There's little cars going around. But just having a bit more mids and the atmosphere fills it up. Another thing, some more kind of like ear candy type things. So like just like little effects. So for example, you can get like an impact.
Yeah, this is gonna make me sound like a horrible producer, but I've been sleeping on impacts.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, impacts can kind of be overplayed, but they sound good, so I don't care. Like, no matter what, they kind of add like a cinematic feel.
For sure, it's very like it's very movie trailery sometimes, but I'm into it. Like it works. There's a tasteful time to use it, and I think this is the right time to use an impact.
Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. And why not some like dub delayed reverse cymbals? You can also add this throughout your drop, like everywhere. Just adding some cool little... And here's how to get the dub delay. Well, for one, buy my Dub-O-Matic rack. No, but you don't even need it. The Dub-O-Matic...
Dude, I bought everything.
Okay. Well, I'll show you how to use the Dub-O-Matic, but pretty much it's just like an echo rack, you know? So, well, you can have it like the quick slapback type feedback with that, except it's like doing a crazy thing. So let me actually go in here and let's lower the rate. Put it on dot. Okay. So now it's dubby. You know, or if you don't have that, you could just go in and get your analog triplet dub. In fact, I might do that just because it's a little cleaner. Except all this noise at the bottom. Just disable this noise thing. It's way too much.
Okay. Yo, do you know how to make a telephone hit?
A telephone hit?
Yeah, it's like a classic dub sound, like it's in a lot of G Jones' sounds.
Oh.
Like this like bleep bloopy.
Okay, what the hell is happening here? No, I think what it is, there's like, for whatever reason, there's like low end in this symbol. Shout out Vengeance. Okay, like don't blame like Saruda or whatever, because Vengeance has lows in their samples too. Okay, but okay. The telephone sound, it's literally a sample. So where is it? It's somewhere in here, like it's somewhere in this Deep Dark and Dangerous sample pack. But there's a lot of like vintage samples, pretty much, that just like are played and played and played just because, like, for one, they're cool. For two, it's almost like an effect of nostalgia. Like, in so much drum and bass, I still don't know what the sample is, but you hear like some guy going like, like that. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like, I'm gonna actually record it just because I want to demonstrate. Because like, but then they pitch it up.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's in so much, but I know the telephone sound is somewhere in here. I think is what you're talking about. Effects. Magical siren.
I've been trying to get a sample of that for so long.
I think this might be it. This magical siren. Or I don't know. I might be thinking of something else.
I don't know. I did some like deep searching for it, all over the place, like in forums and stuff, like a few months back. And I was told it was in this Yeti sample pack from like 2015. So I tracked down the old sample pack, and I still couldn't find it.
Let's see, just like adding a bunch of effects, it does it. Also, like get a bunch of like old DMB sample packs. There's a lot of like overplayed samples in there, which sound cool. Wait, where is it?
Perfect.
DMB. So look, like this jungle pack has a lot of cool stuff. Not a bunch of the stuff. These are cool samples. This isn't what the vocals though. You'll hear a lot of these. Like, where is it? Champion Badman. Like, pretty sure there's like a Widler song, literally Badman. Nowadays, it's the ways of the underground. I'm just throwing samples that people can't even hear because the way Restream works. But anyways, atmosphere samples.
Yeah, I feel like atmosphere is definitely something I'm like lacking heavily in my music. I was working on a collab with someone who's not as good at drops, but is great with atmosphere, and it's actually like coming out really nice. But it is making me realize how much I'm like just completely overlooking like tension and atmosphere and just like making things a little bit more lush. Like I feel like I'm so focused on like a minimal sound that it is like more negatively impacting than it is like helping me like own in my sound.
Right. Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, minimal and atmosphere like aren't necessarily whatever opposites or antagonists or whatever the word you want to use is, because a lot of time the most minimal tracks have like a super thick atmosphere. So another thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna start adding like a bunch of percussion samples. You had a bit in here, but I think you can go crazier with it. Add that analog triplet dub. Cut out the lows. Ooh, I like that with a little. I feel like you can add like another kind of rhythmic element around this part. That's just what I'm feeling. This isn't advice. This is just, let's add a perk loop, or you can get your drums starting.
I feel like I need like I mean, this isn't a request from you. I'm just, after listening to it for an hour, I'm thinking like I need some cool like light lead. Like maybe not light is the word for it, but I need to add some sort
subtle.
of lead.
Subtle.
Yeah, something gentle, but like it's something that'll like really like tickle the ears.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Could use that. I think this is like a perfect sample for this dubby stuff, the one I just picked. Also, like, I like to use kicks kind of sparingly in the build-ups, you know, just to have like a kind of an impact type thing. Like here we go. See, that just makes it slap harder. And then you can have it go boop boo, you know? Boop boo. I'm digging that. This boy slapping now. Another thing, so you introduce these like snares here, just like here and there, but so you cut them out at this last bar before the drop. I think you can do something a little more to like prepare for this drop. You don't need like a crazy build-up thing or anything, but what I like to use, this is free in my sample pack and it's just all over the internet, a washout rack. Sounds nice. I like it. It's great for right before drops, and it's super dubby too. If you're into that, man. Okay, where the fuck
I'm into it.
I don't know why. Okay, there we go. Washout rack. Here we go. Let's go. That's sounding crispy. Ooh, that is slapping. I'm digging it. Okay, just automating this.
Maybe a sharper cut though.
Sharper cut?
Yeah, like right before, because there's like a vocal turnaround right before that drop, so it's kind of like cutting it off. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. Except you might want to go and like do everything or whatever. I mean, wash out everything and then just have the vocal sit on top. You know, that might be cool.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, that's cool. I like that plan. I can do that later.
Another cool thing you could do to make your snare super dubby is add dub delay. Just add dub delay to everything, including your sub, and that's dub. I just put it on the master.
That's what I call dub.
Also, it can be really cool to, that's what I call dub. Okay. It can be really cool to automate. So you got your dub delay, but then automate the rate.
Oh yeah, get those really cool like squishy sounds.
Yeah, I just think that's super sick.
That's very dub, mom.
Super dubby, mom.
Bob Sled.
Big ups. Damn, this track just told me big ups my selector. I think I'm doing something right. so dumb. Also, might as well turn like your reverbs up to high you know, instead of eco, just makes them high quality.
Might as well.
Yeah. You can also automate like your delays on anything, so like this thing. And maybe like get another percussion sample for more variation. Cashmere.
Big splice
Ooh.
sounds guy, huh?
Yeah, sure, yeah. That's very dubby. I don't know if I like them going so low. Actually, I want this hitting like this. Really, just mess a lot with samples. You'd be surprised how much stuff you can make, literally, just with samples. And it doesn't even feel like work. It doesn't even feel like you're making music. It just feels like something. I don't know. So I'm gonna get more impacts in here too. Okay, that impact was not the move. Or you can get like little reversed impacts if you're feeling funky. I don't know if you're feeling funky, but if you are.
Occasionally, yeah.
See, now that's spooky. And just because this is what we do, I'm actually going to reverb the heck out of these impacts, even though this thing's already reverb. The fuck, I'm back.
We heard you like reverb, so we put a reverb on your reverb.
Oh, I like that. I just didn't show it.
It's okay. I'm not shy.
So I'm thinking for a bit more variation, all I'm going to do is just mess with these bass LFO rates. So now it's just going to be a half note. We going slow. We getting low, going slow. Get a half, yeah. And then I'm going to unfreeze this layer. Hope my CPU doesn't die. And do the same thing for this one. You know, just like simple messing with the rates. see, like, this just goes to show, this layer right here. This shows that you can have your sub doing different stuff from your mids, you know?
Mhm.
And that's cool. And it's gnarly.
It is cool. It is cool.
Also, maybe you can change up the drum pattern a bit. So pretty much it's just the same beat, just non-stop.
For sure. Whole fucking time.
Which isn't, I don't know, it's fine. It's cool.
It's fine. Yeah, it's just not like that exciting. Like I'm saying, like
Yeah.
I don't understand how I use this like caliber track as a reference, and like to me, it just like kind of came out a bit more stale.
Yeah, but all I did, I just added a little variation to the second like thing, and I think that's a pattern right there. And I'll do the same thing to this this MIDI. So let's, you know, or if I'm feeling real crazy, if I'm feeling real crazy, man, don't even get me started. All right, anyways. Anyway. Okay, so now it sounds terrible. I don't know what happened. Oh, because it's like, because it's okay. So I'm just gonna put this MIDI on, make this MIDI also trigger the kick, you know, just because, hey, that's what I like to do, and it makes it easier to like switch out samples and, you know, try different stuff.
That's cool.
Are you sure?
I mean, yeah.
All right, thanks, man. I'm also gonna fade out the end because sometimes you can get weird clicks. And also, except one thing is, all these velocities are different, so I'm just gonna go in and like, yeah. Okay, and then disable this track, and then it just makes it easier to like edit everything all at once. See, and now we have a new pattern. It's a little more interesting, and we can add more variation if you're so inclined. Okay.
I just might.
All right.
You just added so much sauce with like one note, like one extra hit. Like it's a way more interesting like kick pattern. Okay, let's not
because it has like okay. No, but it has like that sense of tension in it, you know. Well, the thing is, like the Jersey Club beat is already kind of like tense, right? But when it repeats, like it loses that. But when it's just like, oh shit, there's not a kick on the one anymore. What am I doing? You know, just missing that kick on the one.
Breath.
Yeah, missing that kick on the one adds so much tension. It's so simple though.
Yeah, it's hot. I like that.
I also just really dig this like cashmere perk loop up here. Like it really fills it up. Damn, that's sloppy. I also think you're gonna have more going on in this break. Also quality high. More going on in this break. Besides or something different than just a riser.
Sure. I can have fun with it. I'll allow myself that.
Also, I like in the breaks, like taking out the kicks. That's an awesome way to just add some quick little variation, you know, and like more tension, more expectation. Boom, bum, bum, bum. Like that's just so tense. Nothing even going on. Just silence, and it's just like, oh shit, you know.
I like throwing some sound that's like only in that section.
Just a cool sound. Just get cool sound. Just type something. Type D, DC. I'm literally just gonna grab a random sound. I don't know what to look up. It's hard to pick a random sound. I know I could just go into packs and be like, all right, in here. Amen break. Perfect. That works. Really, you can add random stuff in fills, you know. But be creative, be fun with your fills, and definitely mess with the drums in your fills too. And just really just lather, rinse, and repeat throughout the track.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do like some like grain delay or like mess with the with like the warping on that, like make it like super stretched. It'd be tight. Things that I can do for homework.
Alright, so here's another thing I'm going to add for variation. For one, I'm going to get rid of this shaker since I already kind of have like a loop up top. I mean, this is nothing personal. No. But, you know, it's really your vision or what you think you want in the track ultimately. But, so one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go in and do some crazy shit like you don't even know, man. Oh, also, I don't know if I really like the white noise there for like deep dubby stuff. I don't know. Also, if you do have white noise, I would have it a bit higher frequency, because right now you have it like there, and if you drag in the hiss one, it's a little higher up. I just prefer it slightly higher. It's my taste for white noise, but I actually don't win any. So I lied to you. No, I didn't lie. I would never. Okay, but what I was gonna do though for some extra sauce, bring in your boy Redux. So you know you can just turn this on like wherever you want for some extra variation. Snare is kind of loud as hell though. Also, as for like getting the kick and sub right, so this is hitting like 6 decibels, and I think the sub about is too, so we should be in business. Nope. Alright, good news, we can turn the sub louder.
Uh-oh.
Let's go. You can, your boy Pudgy says, you can even chop the from the vocal sample and play it with the fill leading up to it. Yeah. You can like chop up the vocal and like forget about you or whatever. But yeah, like you can get this up way louder in your mix as I'm demonstrating here. Just like literally just turning up the decibels. However, let me think. Maybe you can turn up your like mids and highs more overall.
It's not just gonna like overpower everything and make it sound muddy as hell if like the low end's just like slammed.
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I would. No finesse, but that could happen. Okay, one thing is, look at this bugger. The snare is giving us some issues. I know it's the snare because it's not there anymore. So basically, this like reverb and or triplet dub, definitely like low pass or like EQ your stuff after your echo delays, because it can get weird. Just like add a bunch of muddy frequencies. This snare pierces my eardrums, however, I must say.
Soothe 2 on the master.
Cutting out some of those rough frequencies. Oh my gosh, it's your boy Ty in chat, my good friend. Coming to visit, I appreciate your presence. Mixing some bass music, making it saucy. You know the deal. But yeah. Let me think what else can kind of be done. I think this low pass section here, I haven't even listened to the whole thing, but I feel like it goes on kind of long. I don't know, it's kind of a cool atmospheric type thing though.
Artistic discretion, you know?
Yeah. I especially think it cuts off too low around here. Just like with, I don't know, that's very subjective. At your own discretion. So, I mean, yeah, I think I pretty much did everything on this track that I really wanted to do. Like, made that atmosphere in the beginning way denser. Added some more delay stuff to make it dubbier during the drop stuff too. Switched out the kick, got the sub knocking, got the kick sub phase line, got the sidechain going. Added a bit of variation. But like, as for doing more, like maybe experiment with more kind of atmospheric samples, more reverbed out, delayed stuff.
For sure.
Mess with your fills more. I think I already said this, but like add more variation. One thing you did say, you want like a little lead here. I don't know if I'm feeling a lead here, but I think I'm gonna try it anyways.
I didn't mean specifically right there. I just meant like throughout the song, like some sort of like ear candy lead that, like, you know,
to add interest, add intrigue. I'm not sure though, because I don't know, I feel like having a lead can take away from just like the minimal deep dark kind of atmosphere a lot of the times, but it might be interesting to try. Just get a straight sine wave.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to send you this Caliber song so you can like kind of see like the unique style that I'm talking about. It's very much so gotten away from the original idea, but I'm still into it.
Get a Yeti, crack the window lead. No, I kind of fucking love it. Like, that song's so fucking nutty for no reason.
I mean, pretty much all of his music is.
But especially that. It's just like so fucking sideways. Like, alright, adding the funny lead. I'm just gonna like play it. I'm gonna like automate it. Get the flow. There we go. And reverb it, and now we have a funny lead. So the drop is like here.
Yeah.
Kind of slaps a bit.
Kind of.
Maybe like a little more variation. Maybe like kind of like that.
That's kind of vibey.
Maybe add like harmonics to this.
Damn, that sounds good.
Let's see, just literally drawing a random harmonics, kind of cool. Yeah, I had one I liked better before, but then I just messed it up by messing with it again. But who knows, man? Plenty of options for a lead. I'll definitely get something like pretty subtle, you know, like really low passed, or like maybe like dynamic with a low passed, or like not super rich in harmonics, like a sine wave, or like a triangle wave, you know.
Some light.
Oh. I dig that. That's kind of vibey, but yeah, do what you will, vibe with it. But yeah, I think I addressed the issues in that track. And
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was some really good guidance. I
Yeah.
can't wait to work on this again because I've been kind of avoiding it, but this is like really good inspo for like just I don't know more ideas for me to riff with.
Everything, but like I think it's definitely super important. Well, for one, also here
Here.
you gotta be a little more careful with the lows. You don't want any of this sub coming in because it can really mess things up. So we already kind of have this sub frequency here, right, from like the harmonics I drew in. So you really want like only these kind of mid stuff, you know, just so it slaps harder, it won't interfere, you know. And you maybe turn it a bit louder too.
Could I saturate it, or do you think that'd be a bad choice?
What was that?
Could I saturate it, or do you not approve of that?
No, you can saturate. Like I was just saying, for like saturator for the sub, you can do it, but you get more control just drawing in the harmonics yourself. You know,
Fair
you
enough.
can, but like for just like sound design, especially like mids and highs, anything goes. stuff like that. But yeah, like the tips I gave in here will definitely like help for anything you're making, you know, because a big part of it was kick and sub, which is just like those are the boys. Yeah, so fundamental to bass music, especially, you know, that and atmosphere, which both are huge. So
for sure.
Look forward to hearing more banger tracks from you with these new and improved tips. Also, get your sub like on the master. Get your sub hitting at like 6 decibels, and the rest wherever you feel like. Basically,
all right.
That's mastering, mixing, mastering. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning into the stream. Thank you, Whom. I'm gonna put in your like stuff in the description real quick. I appreciate you with the quick response and hopping in, sharing your track, letting me roast your high passed kick. All right, but yeah, if you want a lesson from me,
happy to be here.
Oh yeah, man, for certain. If you want a lesson from me, you can sign up at Masterclass Monday, and there's a chance I will reach out to you and get you on stream, or you can just book a lesson with me whenever you choose. I'm pretty free whenever. Just click the link in the description, go to lessons, and yeah, do the little calendar thing. But yeah, that's that, fellas. And I'm gonna put the stuff in the stream. Okay, that's that. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you, Whom, again. Go to buntingmusic.com or else get my samples, buy everything. Support me, help. Please help. Please help. All right, but okay. Thanks again, man. Stopping the stream, hanging out.
Yeah, of course, man. All right.